You are.
What is the matter?
I feel a little low.
I know what could help. SEM TV Morning Pulse. It's a good day to shine on SEM TV Morning Pulse.
Oh, hey. Wake up, go shine. Go shine, go shine. Oh, oh, oh. Morning light, here we go. New day rising, feel the flow from your world.
Of course, it's still SEM TV Morning Pulse, and about time for us to take you to the front pages of our national dailies or lead you to some of the breaking news stories across the Nigerian newspaper. And we are starting with Premium Times. Now, and of course, the most important story, or the very first story you find on Premium Time, will be on the news aspect. Let's take the top stories. The first story headlined the decapitated body of nursing student discovered in hostel. A sad story there for us to kickstart with this morning. Let's look at all the headline stories. Kwara APC picks Speaker Dan Ladi as governorship candidate. APC governorship primaries. How 23 candidates emerged as Fubara withdraws Pantami protest. Dislodged Boko Haram fighters responsible for attacks on Oyo schools, says Defense Headquarters. Of course, Sojuku lied, we never agreed to Biafra's independence at Aburu meeting. That's according to Gowon. Police arrest officer who vowed to kill anyone filming him. And the last story we'll take quickly before we leave Premium Times. And 2027, court votes INEC timetable for parties' primaries nomination of candidates. Now let's look at the foreign news stories and Premium Times this morning. We see protests in Dublin over death of Congolese immigrant pinned down by security guards. US says Nigerians, others seeking green cards, must return home to apply. That's a serious conversation. I'd like to come to you, Barry Suad. Donald Trump is at it again, this time around, unlike Kemi Badenoch, who tried to prevent Nigerians from migrating, and other immigrants is insisting. So it means if I'm a Nigerian and from any other nationality, I'm in the US and I want a green card, I have to return to my country first. But then what is the guarantee that when I return to Nigeria, I will be able to get the green card?
You know, this it's funny and it's comic at the same time, because coming down to Nigeria, the possibility of leaving the country, it'll be like a shoelace passing through the needle eye, which is difficult to start with.
Definitely difficult to start with, but let's look at what the Nation newspapers are saying this morning. The first story, Governor now commits to opening rural roads in Akwa Ibom State. Now, that happens to be my own state. I don't know, have you visited Akwa Ibom before?
A step in the right direction. Akwa Ibom State government is really doing great. You know, coming from, let's say, back 2006, 2007, back then when I was still in Cross River State, the then governor, Donald Duke, he did exceptionally great. The streets were clean. You can't even litter the street without you paying a fine. So I think governor, is actually taking a cue from that, and it's a step to the right direction, if you ask me. And I pray River State just mimic that. It'll be a better thing. Don't do that. Don't laugh, okay?
But we have some good roads. We have some good roads in River State.
Not just good road. I'm talking of clean roads.
Quite a good number of flyovers, especially during the previous administration of Nyesom Wike. But let's look at other stories in the Nation newspaper. We see Nigerian Navy's resilience driving maritime security gains. CNS, of course, Federal High Court Judge Mohammed Yanusa dies. Rather a sad one for the Nigerian judiciary. We see Muftwang, Wadada, Galadima, Danladi win APC giver primaries. Marital malice is no excuse for infidelity, actress Shan George. And I think this is an off-take from what has been happening.
I'll love to jump on that. Marital malice is not the reason.
It's not an
why.
excuse.
Of course it is not an excuse, but I think the both of them, the both parties in their marriage, they were toxic. They needed a breather. But I feel no matter how long the malice is between your partner and you should create time, create room to have that conversation, because at the end of the day, via malice, people still pass to the great beyond. You can't be keeping malice to your partner. We need to look at this practically. You might be keeping malice with your partner, and your partner is sick at the middle of the night, and maybe she's trying to talk to you.
Malice should
And
not stop you from caring.
caring, when you say
It should not
malice,
stop you from being loving. It should
Francis,
not stop you from
some
helping.
people do close up malice, like I don't talk to you, I don't care what happened to you. That's what I'm trying to talk about. It is not healthy. But in as much as it's not healthy, it's not a reason for you to cheat on your partner. It doesn't make sense at the end of the day.
Definitely does not make sense. A few more stories before we leave the Nation newspaper. We see governors Akume orders mobilized for Tinubu ahead of APC presidential nomination. That is coming up today. Happens to be the 23rd day of May. So
Right.
finally, probably before the end of today, we'll get to know who will be the presidential candidate of the APC come 2027. Well, some of us already know, because on your mandate we shall stand, according to the supporters of the president. Tears as teacher killed in Oyo school attack is buried. Another sad reality for Nigeria as far as insecurity is concerned. And the last story, stakeholders back federal government's port approvals, project 500,000 jobs in blue economy. And that would be a great news for Nigerians, especially those who are still needing employment. So we do hope this is not yet another news by the Nigerian government that is just going to end on the front pages of newspapers. But let's look at Daily Post this morning. Of course, on Daily Post, we have a couple of news. The very first, bandits insisting on 1 billionaire, 35 motorcycles to release 37 victims kidnapped from churches, Kaduna community. Another sad narrative there. Drug abuse, illegal mining, fueling youth violence in Niger State. That's according to the residents. In 2027 elections, Jonathan not viable option for Northern political bloc. That's according to analysts. We head to sports where we see NFF set to organize CAF A, B license refresher courses. And that's for those who are into the sports sector, referee particularly. Executive Governor Fayemi mourns Alawe Oba Adebanji Ajibade Alabi. And the last story before we take leave of the Dollar Times, we see APC represents Tagri in Kanu, Kwankwasiya spokesperson Mohammed. Those are all the stories I like to see, Mara. The bandits,
I really want to
35
exactly,
motorcycles,
exactly.
and 1 billionaire.
Francis, the question is, how did we get here? That bandits have to negotiate. So when you say we're giving you 1 billion naira and the rest of it and motorcycles, so you carry out your illegal activities, what happened to Operation Flush Them Out? Why are we still negotiating with bandits? I mean, where is Nigeria heading to? And yet you be canvassing for vote here and there. I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. But insecurity has become the norm of the day. I think it's high time Nigeria really know what they want. Before we vote for you, which is our right, before we vote for you, we should take our time and have a town hall meeting if it's necessary. Give us list of things you've done in the nation to better the life of the citizens of people you're ruling. Not just coming out, because I wonder, this looks like a movie. A bandit is now negotiating for motorcycles, so they keep on,
keep on
kidnapping
having,
and the rest of it. So we're now
logistics.
aiding them. We are now aiding them in broad daylight in Nigeria. We need to rethink again.
Definitely a need for us to rethink, but let's quickly go to the last paper we'll be looking at this morning, and that would be the Vanguard newspaper. Now, on the front, the news headlines on the Vanguard newspaper, we see 12 contenders, dark horses eye Tinubu's job. 12 contenders, dark horses eye Tinubu's job. That's on Vanguard newspaper. Insecurity, Yoruba land unsafe. Terrorist cells spreading. I have solution. That's according to Gani Adams. Of course, memoirs, How I Confronted Joe Garba on His Plot to Overthrow Me. That's according to Go On. Federal High Court announces that of Kano Division George. Gumi denies allegations of supporting banditry. And of course, the last two stories. Cost of healthy diet was 1,530 naira in.
This is SEM TV. Reliable news and entertainment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
The program you are watching will continue shortly. Stay with SEM TV.
Of course, those are the major stories we're bringing you this morning on the pages of Nigerian newspapers. We'll take a short breather, and when we come back, Tammy and Vera will be standing by to take you on the other segment of the SEM TV Morning Pulse Breakfast Show. So stay.
Oh,